Carim and Michelle Hyatt with Marriage in a Minute right here on Omega Radio.
From this moment.
Hey, radio listeners, this is Michelle Hyatt.
And this is Carim Hyatt,
host of Marriage in a Minute. Tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. right here on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network for encouraging words on marriage.
And listen, guys, check out our new website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. And remember, you are the MVP in your marriage.
From this moment.
Hello out there. I am having just a little bit of fun with my husband in the studio today. So
She called it fun.
I hope all is well. It is Saturday. It is 3:30 and we are here in studio and just so grateful for today. I'm excited about today's program because it is needed and it can be fun, you guys. So we are really hoping that you will just hear us out for a little bit. It is raining where we are. I don't know where you are right now, but it is overcast and but it's cooler. It was super hot this morning. We'll tell you where we were today in a little bit, but let's get.
We just proved what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Today. Put it that way.
Yeah.
A walking testimony.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's just say I have a deep tan.
Yes. But yeah, we're glad to be here. You know, we actually were coming back from our little getaway, and it was, like my wife said, it was raining a lot. We were coming from the Keys.
The weather is mine. Don't talk about the weather.
Yeah, but we're one flesh, so I can talk about the weather.
See, he's jumped. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. But anyway, it is so great being here. I'm in studio, and there's like a white tambourine on the desk, and it just makes me feel like doing a little bit of dancing and tambourining right now. So I don't know if that's a real word, tambourining, but
do you see what it does when you get away?
Yeah, this is all silly from just a joyous mini weekend. But today we're talking about a marriage refresher, and I feel like we've had that this past weekend. So we're really we feel refreshed. We're a little bit tired, but that's expected. But we feel refreshed, and we just really want to encourage you guys that whatever it is that you do, man, you've got to find a way to do it. Get away, get out of town, get out of your house, get away from your kids. No, don't get away from your kids. Bring your kids if you need to, of course. It really is, and it's so fun, really, when you bring your kids and just you're showing them as well how to get away from the norm and get out of just a little bit. And we're going to talk about money about this because it doesn't always, if you plan right, it doesn't really take a lot of money. So let my husband jump in.
All right, I'm going to jump in. So we just came back from the Keys, which is our favorite place to go. And I remember each time we have a plan to get away, to do our thing, you know, like my wife said, you have your thing that you do as a married couple. It doesn't have to be something that you go out of town. It could be something in town. It could be something simple. But whatever it is that refreshes your relationship with each other, it's really needed. So, you know, if you notice that we're back and we're laughing a lot, it's because
silly. We're silly. We're tired too, but we're good.
Yeah. So we used to, back in the days we used to fish, and that's what we do. We fish and basketball. But I remember we were in the sun fishing, and I remember one day we were fishing and Michelle was still looking for bait. Our bait was done, so we couldn't fish anymore. And I was ready to go because I was parched.
It was parched. It was hot. It was really hot.
I needed something to drink to refresh myself. And if you notice, today we're talking about a marriage refresher.
Yeah. And
I remember Michelle was like, okay, let's wait one more minute. Let's just search for bait. But anyway, I remember when we got to that store and we got the drinks. I think it was I can remember now, years ago, it was the iced tea, lemon iced tea.
Yeah.
And I remember when I just opened that thing and just started drinking, it felt like heaven on earth.
Yeah, really.
So this is what we're liking the topic, to be like.
Refreshing.
You need a refresher in your marriage.
And wait, and when you get the refresher, when it happens to you and you really feel like, man, this was so needed. That's what my husband's explaining. It's like night and day. The minute you realize and you recognize that, man, things are a little bit different, it feels like someone like poured cold water over your hot, like you're so hot, like you're so parched, and somebody came and flushed you with water. That's what it feels like. And that's what your marriage needs, your relationship, your family needs ever so often. Like we probably go down to the Keys more often and get away more than probably a lot of people. We don't always stay overnight. By the way, we are recommending it. It's really a great place to be. You feel like you're away from everything. It's so, if you haven't been there, it's just an hour and a half from Fort Lauderdale. It's not far. It's not, not all the way. We don't usually go all the way down to Key West.
Yes.
But we stop in Isla Mirada and we fish. We go to Marathon. We stop in Tavernier. You can even fish in but fishing might not be your thing.
Right.
But what we're saying,
whatever you do to get away from the norm.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Marriage takes work.
Yeah.
God worked 6 days to his creation, and he rested on the seventh. Yeah. So we call this a marriage Sabbath that you need. You need rest. You need a break. You need a break to get away from the arguments. You need to get away from
the norm, the everyday, right? The bills.
That's why it gives you fresh vision. It gives you a chance to just think straight and spend quality time with each other. Put away all the gadgets. Put away all the distractions. So here's the verse. Mark 2, verse 27. It says, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath."
Can you imagine that? Think about it for a minute. The Sabbath was made for man, not the man for the Sabbath. So in other words, what the Bible is actually telling us is that Sabbath was made to benefit man.
That's it. Yeah.
And in this, we're not necessarily talking about Saturday today. We're just talking to say, take that break. Take a break. Get away with your spouse. We don't even care if you bring the family, your kids, whatever, because even them sometimes they need a little bit of break. They need to also see what they need to do with their families when they get a little bit older and they get married, and when they realize that, man, things are a little bit tough, it's whatever, take a getaway. And from that getaway, it's so funny, like we're coming back from the Keys today and we're just talking and we were making plans. We don't even see the money to do some of the things that we're saying, but we were just like, man, the possibilities. It just refreshes your entire mind. It refreshes, you talk to each other differently, you look out for each other differently. So that's why we're like, man, we really recommend if you can. So we said we were going to talk about money. So we went for one night. Right? We didn't feel like we needed to go away for like 3 or 4 nights. When we do, we call that a little vacation, and we plan for that. But just one night, sometimes just take a little bit of time out. The bills are coming back when you get there. They're going to be there before. They're going to be there next month. Take some time out and do something for your marriage. Take time out to do something for yourselves.
Yeah. It's really important because, like I said before, your marriage is a journey. You're on a journey together, and for that, every great marriage takes work. You're gonna have great times, but you're also gonna have times. Remember, God created trials. He allows trials in your marriage to build your marriage, but it takes work to do that building. However, God also gives you a choice to have a Sabbath, to have a refresher, because you need that refreshing to continue that journey. Like you picture a car. You're driving this car all the time, all over the place. It needs an oil change, right? Or it needs maintenance, or else it's not going to operate the way it's supposed to operate, right? It's the same thing with your marriage. Your marriage is not going to operate effectively, operate with peace, love, joy, and harmony all the time. You need that change in atmosphere. You need that change in, even the location where you are all the time. You need to do something to refresh both of you, your husbands and wives, and even family. So what we're encouraging is, whatever it is that you do, go back to that. I met Michelle And I never fished before in my life until I met Michelle. And I came to love it because it gives us that refreshing time together where we could just sit in front of the ocean, we talk, we dream, we make plans, we, enjoy.
Settle arguments.
Settle arguments. Yeah, because, you're going to have arguments. But again, this is another thing. When you're on your Sabbath, when you're on your refreshing time, whatever you're doing, try your best to not argue. Try to laugh more. Try to, talk about things that are fun. Try to, because, again, these things you're going to come back to. You can't avoid conflict. But while you're taking your break, try to avoid the conflict at that time because you need that energy, that revitalizing time to continue that journey. God did it.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, like we were saying, I think it really it gives you a boost, right? So all we're saying is, and I think it's a great idea. It's great for your marriage, obviously, but I really believe that, and I just said it before. When you really feel like you need to get away and just be away, think about the kids in the home that they're struggling too, and they would need a getaway. So you can do it by yourselves if you've got babysitters or whatever, for a one-nighter. I remember there were times when we did our refreshing and we realized that, north would be better for Tyler, but we can also have fun. So what we did, we got in the car, we just packed food from home. Like, I'm not the greatest cook in the world, but, when we were leaving Thursday, I made some chicken and I made some rice and I brought it with us. And that was our meal for Friday evening for last night. So we didn't go out to dinner last night because we know we wanted to do a few other things. So we grabbed food from our fridge and we made dinner and we bring it with us. And we brought all snacks from our refrigerator. And man, we make the best of it. So every vacation doesn't have to look the same way with a boarding pass with, you're traveling out of town or out of the country or whatever. No, work with what you have. And I really believe that couples, and I know that some of you guys are struggling with money and we get it. Listen, that's the situation for us. What we did when we were struggling, we went north. Orlando hotels, they're a lot cheaper than the ones in the Keys, and we get that, right? Because the Keys can be really expensive. But grab them, throw them in the car, just say, hey, we're taking a little trip. Go up north. There are so many free things to do in Orlando. Buy them ice cream. Bring food from home. Make sure when you're checking into a hotel, they have breakfast. We did that this weekend. They had complimentary breakfast. We ate on the house. We didn't go out and buy extra food because when you're living on a budget like most of us are, there are ways around having a big budget. That doesn't mean you can't go away for one night and have a great time and refresh.
You might not even have a car, right? So, we're talking about getting away. It doesn't have to be getting away by driving somewhere far. Take a walk to the park. Bring a blanket. Bring some food. Have a picnic together. Anything that takes you away from
different,
the day-to-day stress. So don't let money be a problem. You need a break. You need something to, refresh your marriage relationship.
Yeah, and listen, the beach. We've got beaches here in Fort Lauderdale, and I don't know if some of you might be in Jamaica, whatever. It doesn't matter. So what we're saying is so organic and so holistic that you can do this. You can copy this wherever you are. So what we're saying, a lot of people, okay, you're in Jamaica. You might not have a lot of money, but guess what? You can go to the park. You can cook at the beach. You can just get, and not just for you too, but again, it's a legacy because we want our kids to understand that it doesn't always have to be a lot of money or a lot of people.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of money. We just do what we afford to do. So whatever it is that you can afford to do, don't let money be a problem. Like I said, it could be something local, but it's just something different. It could be something.
Yeah, it's that different. Yeah.
Together, it could be just taking a walk away from home. It's always good to get away. But if you can't get away, meaning to a hotel far away, just be creative. Do something because it's the planning. It's the in the moment that you are refreshed. It's not something that has to be a big, what's the word? Something that is so...
That's big, high budget that
right, exactly.
You're going to be thinking when we get back, how are we going to pay the bills? Don't
right.
do that either, because we want you guys to be responsible. But what we did, we just shifted around a few things and we made it happen. And I think sometimes when you're going through issues, you feel like maybe you don't want to shift, you don't want to do this, make the sacrifice and just do something just different. Refresh. Again, the Bible talks about Sabbath being for man. Man wasn't made for Sabbath, but Sabbath was made for us. So once you know that, now that you know Mark 2:27, you realize that rest is important. It was made for you.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Oh my gosh.
That's a phrase that is so true. So that's the idea. We're encouraging you guys, as married couples and families, take that break whenever you plan it and whenever you can, because you need it. All right, guys, we're at the end of our program, Marriage in a Minute on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network. Thank you guys for joining us today. Join us next Saturday, same time, 3:30 p.m. for Marriage in a Minute on Omega Radio. Check our website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com.
Have a great week.
God bless you guys.
All righty.
All right, Omega listeners, you were just tuned into Marriage in a Minute right here on Omega Radio. We want to say a special thank you to all of you who were tuned in today and ask that you'll tune in next week, Saturday, at the same time on the same station. And, of course, we would like to thank the Hyatts for being a proud sponsor of Omega Radio. So make sure you tune in next week, Saturday, 3:30 to 3:45 p.m. for Marriage in a Minute right here on Omega Radio.
God bless you.
From this moment.
Hey, radio listeners, this is Michelle Hyatt.
And this is Carim Hyatt,
host of Marriage in a Minute. Tune in every Saturday at 3:30 p.m. right here on Omega Radio Broadcasting Network for encouraging words on marriage.
And listen, guys, check out our new website, www.marriagevantagepoint.com. And remember, you are the MVP in your marriage.
From this moment.
USA News, I'm Tim Berg. The airlines look to be finally catching up. That's according to the latest FlightAware misery map showing just over 500 delays and 9 cancellations